Any other sort of handy hints you have on cruise, or insights to share?
Where to start?
Yeah, there's so much.
Well, what's in 1.3?
So 1.3 introduces groups, pipeline groups. So in previous releases of Cruise, you hit the main dashboard and you would just see all the pipelines there, and you would have to filter out which pipelines you were interested in. And pretty much everyone could see everyone else's pipelines. So particularly the larger organizations that are using Cruise, they decided no, they want to split who can see what. And so now we have pipeline groups and security on pipeline groups. So pipelines can now be put into groups, and you can now say, all right, this team of developers here can see these groups, this team of developers here can see those groups. And so you can still have a central Cruise installation, but instead of being swamped with pipelines, we've got clients who've got, in excess of 200 pipelines running within a Cruise installation. And, they just want to trim it out and just have their various teams just getting information on the pipelines that they want to see. Other information, there's richer metadata around who did what. So things like if someone forced a build or triggered a build manually, it wouldn't tell you, obviously, it wouldn't be obvious at a glance who triggered the build. Now that's in the logging. There's better ant runners and rake runners and stuff like that who actually are better able to parse the log outputs. So if a build breaks, in Ant it'll actually, within the failure, it'll tell you which target failed the build. Things like that, just little bits and pieces to make it easier to get into the system.
Okay. And sort of what type of development organizations are using Cruise now? I mean, primarily Java, I'm guessing, is there's always the big cruise control kind of legacy on ThoughtWorks.
Yeah. So it's not just that. So yes, there are lots of Java groups. There's .NET guys using it. There's actually, I think we've got 2 clients who do embedded C and C++ for embedded devices. They're using Cruise for that. Any that I've missed?
I mean, from what I've seen, it's a pretty broad spread. There's no one major group.
Used on a couple of Ruby projects. Ruby guys use it. It's got built-in support for Rake and Git and all the rest, so it just works.
Ola set it up for IoT.
Does it
as
support
well?
Git submodules?
Or
Git externals?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
It's part of 1.3. Submodules came.
Yeah, so IoT is built on Cruise, and that's one of the. I suppose that's another thing that's probably so obvious that we forgot to mention about the difference between Hudson and Cruise is the whole multi-platform aspect of Cruise. So the way Ola's using Cruise for IoT, he's testing IoT against the CLR and against the JVM. He's testing it with Windows, with various versions of .NET. He's testing it with Mono, different JVMs, different platforms, and so we now have this big matrix and this grid of different agents that we can now use to run one set of tests, but run it on different platforms and say, all right, this one test for this application now passes on all these platforms, and consolidate all the information up for you.
So where Hudson solves that problem of heterogeneous networks or platforms with plugins, you guys are basically just providing the whole shebang out of the box.
Yep.
And I'm guessing integrated nicely and consistent.
Yep.
All right, great. So anything else you want to share, or shall we call it Friday afternoon and start the weekend?
Friday. One shiny feature in 1.3 is we now support running multiple agents on one physical machine. So for people who've got different machines but maybe different users with different security levels, you can now run multiple agents as different users on the same machine.
Which is, so that has been used then by the Cruise team to start for themselves, implementing a personal build server.
Personal builds. Forgot about personal builds.
Chris Stevenson's got a great post on the community site about how exactly that's set up.
Yep.
Rather than going into a lot of detail right now,
So processes running on the Cruise server are actually running as that user. So it would be Chris's process running on the machine.
They're using a separate Cruise free edition to run personal builds for individuals, and then the outputs of those they can then choose to check into a main Cruise server. you better to read the post than to try and have me draw diagrams in my mind.
We'll link to it. We'll link to it after this post. All right, well, great. Well, thanks, guys, and
Cool.
have
Thanks,
a great
Josh.
weekend.
Yes, it is.